Hey YouTube, it's Urgo. No, wait, it's not Urgo. I'm Little Mongoose Gaming, and here's the real Urgo.
Welcome to the premiere episode of Ask Urgo, a new show that I'll be doing where I'll be taking questions from you guys in the comments or in video responses and either answering long-form questions, short-form questions, or sort of a mix of both. In this premiere episode, we're actually going to stick with one long-form question submitted by Shane Hastings, who asked, "What are your thoughts on the internet and the evolution of it?" So basically, I'm going to take this and sort of turn it into internet definitely related, but sort of more technology as well. Now, I've been on the internet and using the internet longer than most people, not obviously everyone since I wasn't around when it was first created, but I've been big into technology since I'd say the early 90s, using BBSs and then one of the first people on the internet using chat way back in the day. And sort of I've been able to see it grow up and mature, and a lot of the things that I wished I had when I was a kid, that like back in school, I really wished I had ways to use my cell phone, actually, well, not my cell phone, there really weren't cell phones then, but have some sort of way to communicate while in class. I mean, obviously not good for the teachers, but you know what I'm trying to say. Have a way to communicate and stay in touch with the people that I knew online while I was in a place where you don't have access to sit in front of a computer terminal dialed in, like literally with a phone line into the internet. So, I mean, back then I even saw that we were going to have this technology going forward. So I actually spent a lot of time today trying to think on what might be some things that will be coming in the future of the internet and technology. And obviously, I don't know if this is going to happen. This is just sort of some things that I would like to see happen that I think are very probable. And I mean, you take it from there. So I sort of see two worlds going on. And I mean, right now we already have this sort of mobile world and the desktop world. And I think each of those are going to continue to evolve a little, but in very different ways, and then eventually converge together as well. Now, if you guys are familiar with Google Glass, I think this is sort of one of the beginnings of this new world here, though I don't think that Google Glass itself is necessarily going to be as big of a hit as people might think it is. But you know, again, I think it's just the very first step, sort of like, you know, when cell phones used to be this big, and yeah, people used them, and they've now turned into, well, mine's huge anyway, but you know what I'm saying. They've gotten a lot smaller and more powerful over the years as the technology has matured, and I think the same is going to happen with the Google Glass type stuff. So anyway, what I'm trying to get at here is I think that the technology, the mobile type technology where you take it wherever you go, is going to turn more into a utility rather than just sort of entertainment. It's going to be obviously entertainment as well, but I see the technology enhancing this sort of human perception as time goes on. I would love to be able to have something that would feed information to me to enhance, you know, my memory is not the best. I do, you know, not bad, but just in a way that, you know, when you see something, you could automatically know what it is, even if you might not have, you know, learned that before. So sort of, you know, something that'll recognize things in real life, and you know that's just the tip of the iceberg there with like recognizing a building or something and overlaying maps and stuff like that. I'm talking more intelligent also, so that, you know, you walk up to a person that you may or may not know, and it'll, I know it's a little creepy, but it'll know who they are, it'll give maybe some facts on them, tell like the last conversation you had with them sort of filtered on your eye, basically, on the screen. Google Glass is, you know, going to be sort of like little glasses that one of the pieces here is going to be an eye, but maybe in the future, you know, that'll transfer into a contact type of you know, solution. But anyway, you know, what I'm trying to get at here is something that will enhance the human ability to perform anything that we want to do with the power of a computer. So basically the convergence of human and technology in a way that anything you want to do, you'll be able to do. So you have to do some sort of math for, I don't know, getting the tip for something, it would automatically be there, even if you can't do the math in your head. It would come up with what you need there. If you're trying to remember a previous conversation you had with someone, you could instantly search for something that you mentioned in the conversation, and it would be recorded when you have the conversation originally, and you'd be able to search for what happened there. And I mean, there's just so many applications here. And I think eventually we're going to get to something like that. How it's going to look exactly, I don't know. But I do think that there's going to be that type of utility. And again, Google Glass is just sort of the first step there. Obviously, technology-wise also, this isn't something that we can really sustain at the moment. Our mobile networks really are going to need a huge overhaul, both in sort of the technology. I mean, there's, you go around and there's dead spots all over the place, and the mobile companies are really charging people way too much for the technology that's provided. For what I'm talking about here, we're going to need massive data amounts. So maybe it's not going to work for us in the United States. A lot of other smaller countries have much better infrastructures than we do. I know, for example, I went into Singapore back in, I want to say it was like 2008, and they were already had gigabit internet there all over the place. You could sign up for that. And they had mobile coverage like crazy. So there's a lot of technology that has to change first before we can do this type of thing, but I do think it's going to happen at some point. Now, switching over to sort of the home side of things, I think that social is one of the major drivers for a lot of things right now, and I'm going to have to reach to some sci-fi type books and whatnot and movies, and think that we're going to end up with some sort of metaverse type of a solution. I first, I think, saw this in, I want to say it was Lawnmower Man 2, where people jacked in to this simulation or whatever, and it was fully immersive that you were with all your friends and whatnot in that location. And it's been in a lot of other things also. Most recently, I read a book about a year ago. I did a video on this too, called Ready Player One. And it's the same type of thing, Snow Crash, and there's all sorts of examples of this. Where basically what I'm trying to say here is there's going to be the web as it is right now is really old technology, and we've tried to hack it so much to get it to do what we need it to do. And I really think that there's got to be a new platform out there that's going to really revolutionize all of this. And I would love it to be some sort of metaverse type thing where everything will be built on that. So the Oasis from Ready Player One, for example, I'll use that, which, by the way, is what I named my new computer when I built it. Anyway, what it or how it works is you have some sort of way to get into it, to jack in, if you will, and it could be, a 3D type environment, which would be probably the ideal way to do this type of a thing. So, you really get to see who you're talking with physically, and I mean, you can still obviously do other things if you want to have that type of environment. But inside here, you can have portals to games, actually go to your bank if you want, and I don't know how it'll all work, but I think that something like that would bind everything together and allow you to do a lot more would be where we'll eventually head to. I don't think that the web as it exists today is going to last on into the very distant future. There's going to be a lot of changes. It might still evolve from that, but I don't know. I think there's going to be a lot different there. And then, as I'm talking about the convergence of both the things together, I'm not sure exactly how that would work, but the two things that we want, obviously, are having this knowledge and enhancing the human perception, and then being able to keep ourselves entertained and interact and be social and get work done and all of that. I think the two are going to tie together in some way that will, I don't know, while you're mobile, you can even tie into the system. While you're in the system, you can still access all the information you need to. And it's just going to be a really exciting world, I think, in the future. I don't know if we're going to see all of this in my lifetime or my children's lifetime or that type of a thing, but I think in the next couple hundred years, if not a lot sooner, it's just going to be an amazing world if we're able to get that far. All right, guys, I hope that you guys enjoyed that, and I don't know if I'm right. Let me know your thoughts. I would love to hear your own opinions on this. Leave a video response if you have thoughts. Leave your comments in the comment section below. And yeah, also, if you have questions for the next episode of Ask Ergo, leave it in the comment section too. I'll be going back to the previous video and this and probably making a short version of Ask Urgo with all your short questions sometime in the next few days to sort of continue that on as well. But thank you very much for this question here, Shane. I had a lot of fun doing it, and I really did think a lot, so hopefully you appreciate that. Thanks for watching, everyone. Thanks for commenting, liking, and subscribing, and I'll see you guys again tomorrow.